I have been looking for a tool in Houdini that will help me do this kind of like traditional hair stuff, creating these tubes in Houdini. So I recently came across a YouTube video by this guy Henry Dean, who's evidently one of the programmers for the KineFX, and he was running through a little technique that he was using to create these lines. So I'll just play just a snippet here.
And we now have a bunch of points floating in world space that I can move individually.
All right, so that is just a little snippet of what he was talking about. So I implemented it. Basically, it's using a stroke and then resampling and then putting a couple attributes on it, pumping it into a rig doctor, and then making it essentially into a KineFX rig. So let's just see how this works for a second. So I have to select the stroke, and I have the stroke set on projecting on geometry. If I just start to draw on the surface, it'll create a curve. Now it's a little rough. Now the resample does some resampling, but this fit curve kind of helps smooth things out. So if I come down here and pick these this rig pose, and then start moving these around, you can see that it is essentially has created a KineFX a KineFX rig, and so I can move some of these KineFX points around to control the rig. Now this is very cool, and I like this. But this is really just a prototype of what might be a nice tool. Certainly, I don't know enough Python or whatever, or any Vex or anything. I mean, I know a little bit, but just enough to be dangerous, and certainly not enough to do all the complex, low-level stuff that you have to do to get a tool like this working. But this tells me that it's possible, and that there's really a potential to create a KineFX rig that will allow you to do something like this. All right, for me, to get all these stuff, then I have to take a stash node and grab this and then just stash the input, and then just chop it off. And then to create another line, I have to go back to the stroke, pick the stroke, and then hit clear. And that's the stash that's just up there. So if I hit clear, then I can come in here and start drawing another line out like this. And then go to my rig pose now, and then start to manipulate this one. So it's a little hacky. It's probably even very hacky, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you can rig something like this up using the curve tool, but this has a nice amount of control to it. Now, if I wanted to change the number of controls, I'd come up to this fit thing, and it's based on a tolerance. So if I lower the tolerance, I will actually, and then come back to the rig pose, you'll see that I actually have more controls set up. So that's quite interesting. I'm not going to bore you by doing a lot of this stuff, but it's I think this kind of tool would be nice. So you can change, obviously this is based on a sweep at the end, and so then I can come up and change the radius of the sweep, maybe bring it down, or so whatever. I have control over that, and I also have control over the profile of the sweep as well. So anyways, this is just a prototype, hacky prototype that I've put together as an idea for a tool that would be awesome in either Modeler or Side Effects wants to. They could easily do something like this. Again, it's based on Henry Dean's work in Houdini 18.5. So take a look at this YouTube video and let me know what you think about that. All right. Thanks a lot.